Alright, what's up, guys? We're gonna talk about some dating shit today, right? This isn't really a trending thing, but I have watched a lot of videos like this in the last year, and I want to kind of give some personal input from a young guy, right? Or kind of young. I don't know how old 20 is, right? Almost young status, but so I've been hearing this a lot, where it's like women will be like, "There's like no more good men out there. There's no more, guys that, they can set their lady friends up with." Like, I know there's some girls saying that, like, "Oh, where's all the single men at? The single straight men." There seems to be, for like every 50 women, like, there's just like no men to set them up with. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But you kind of have to break this down, right? Because, like, realistically, I think we all know what they're talking about. It's like there's no men that they want that are single that want to date them, right? Listen, I'm not a red pill guy or a black pill guy. I think a lot of that talk is stupid, because it doesn't really. It's just like that type of content is like just buzzwords thrown around. But like a lot of the stuff they say isn't wrong, though. You know what I'm saying? Like the 80-20 rule is slightly different than the way most people think it is. But it is true that like there are real graphs that show that, like, on the scale of like 1 through 5 or whatever, 1 being ugly, 5 being hot, most men rate women as like a standard bell curve. And if you don't know what that is, it's like most men think, okay, most women are average to okay looking, and there's a lot of them who are good looking. Women rate men mostly in like 1 and the 2. Like, they think most guys are ugly, and it's like almost none of them rate any guy as a 5. So it's like I think that's where the 80-20 comes from, is because it's like, to most guys, like, I know, listen, I'm not gay or anything, but this idea that there's no good looking guys around is just crazy. Because to me, as a guy, like, I'm just an average build type of guy, but if I walk around and I see a dude who's ripped, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy looks great, But then to a woman, he might just be average, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think that kind of explains where that type of thing comes from. But I also think that women also, I don't know why or how it got this way. I mean, you could say TikTok or fucking Instagram or anything like that, for why they start acting this way, especially in 2026. I mean, this type of behavior started like 10 years ago, let's be honest. But, it's also interesting, is a lot of guys are like, well, no guys are dating. But, if you go into real life, most dudes who date, like most women are like people in jail. These dudes who are like drug dealers, or they're like short Mexican guys. Like, that's why a lot of the red pill stuff doesn't really make sense. It's like, my dad's a client, and I've seen, I'm retarded. My dad's a lawyer, right? And his, like, back when he had his practice before he had to sell it, like, a lot of his clients were like dudes who were like, I'm talking retarded, like, I'm talking gangster, I need my baby mama to pay my bail type of guys. And those were the guys that get all the women, And you're like, well, maybe they were really attractive. And, like, that's not really true, I think that what happens nowadays, like, here's just my theory. It's because a lot of guys like me, right? Most men have this experience where it's like you date a girl when you're younger. And most men, like, we grew up on the Disney stuff. So it's like you think that, oh, I'm going to get with this girl. Maybe you're not the best boyfriend, but you are trying, You're just doing as you do, and and it's like you're just trying to do right by her. And either you get cheated on, or the relationship just ends for no fucking reason. Or maybe you date like me. Like, I tried 3 times. I know I'm only 20, but, like, I was never hooking up. I was trying to do it, like, traditionally. But, you just get burned out of it, and then you start to slowly understand that the type of life that you want is just not gonna happen. So then what happens is you kind of consume a lot of dating content. Or maybe you talk to women in real life and you hear how they really move. and you're like, damn, they're kind of more slutty than guys are, you know. And then over time, it kind of degrades and erodes your will to want to be with women like that. You know what I mean? Now, like, this video is kind of about women, but I really don't know. I'm just kind of like putting on both sides right there, because I also know women are like, you know, I just don't understand their type of thought process, because it's like, I know a lot of guys get rage baited by the dating content. I know I do sometimes, you know, by women's dumbass standards and stuff, but none of that stuff is actually true in real life. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Most of the women I've dated have been paying most of the relationship, because when I was like slightly younger, like a couple years back, you know, it was like, I was like one of those guys that had like a perm and shit, and it was like, honest to God, I like have straight hair naturally, but when I got curly hair, women were just throwing themselves at me. I never understood shit like that. That's why when women say men are visual and, oh, they only care about body, I call bullshit. Women care about looks more than guys do. It's like, I changed one thing about myself, and then suddenly I had a personality. You know what I mean? But like stuff like that. So it's like, she wants to say that guys have to do all these things, it's not attractive. But then if you look at her dating life, she's dating a bunch of fat dudes with bums, and I'm just like, what the fuck makes you think you deserve a good guy? You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why a lot of the high successful guys are living on, well, I mean, they've always been living on, you know, in like basically, you know, the best realm. But I mean, like, if you're a woman, it just doesn't really make sense to me. It's like, you think that because a guy would sleep with you, he wants to commit to you, right? Like, most men realize that it's like, you know, even sleeping with a girl isn't really a win for me, because it's like, look, any guy who's never had sex before or just watches porn all the time, it's like, oh dude, oh my god, I can sleep with a girl. It's like, bro, why does that matter? It's not, it's like, I reached the point in my life where it's like, look, I'm not trying to say I've had all sex with all these girls. My body count's literally like fucking 4, you know, but it's just like, it's just not enticing to me. You could put the hottest girl, you put fucking, I don't know, fucking Margot Robbie in front of me. I'm not gonna, like, I don't, why? Like, what does that do for me? You know? I'm not a hornball. And it's just like, I feel like most men are kind of waking up to that, because it's like, dude, like, I just, you know? But like, anyway, back to the point I was trying to make with women is, it's just like, I know successful guys and good-looking guys also are attracted to the same type of girls that, you know, dudes like me and lesser guys are, right? Like, a successful guy will still fuck an ugly girl if he wants to have sex. And I think that's the problem, is it's like, a lot of these guys would just, you know, pick one of the random girls. Like, for example, let's say you're an average guy and you're married to a girl. Let's say a successful guy hits her up because he just wants to fuck, and then she's like, oh my god, this is my time, I must be really important, and then she goes and sleeps with him. And then whatever, he fucks her and leaves, because that's what, you know what I mean? He doesn't care about you or about the girl that he just took. And then he leaves, and then she thinks that now she is at that level. And then she'll leave you and then try to get another guy like that, but then she'll fail. I usually see that type of pattern. And I don't mean famous guys. Sometimes it could be a guy slightly better than you, you know? That's what dudes would call monkey branching. But I would say for women, I think that's a really dumb tactic, because the monkey branching stuff hurts a lot of men, and then they get bitter about it, which understandably so. But the thing is like, there's one thing, and this is not cope, but most times for these women, the monkey branching shit doesn't last. Okay? It's happened to me twice. But the monkey branching thing isn't always them climbing higher. Usually they try to get to a better, hotter guy, and then they get cheated on. That seems to be the pattern in my life, where I'll date a girl, whatever. You know, you ask them, because I know there's only one side of the story you're getting here, but let's just say I'm an asshole. I suck. I'm just a horrible guy. Whatever. They leave me, and then the next thing they go, they usually date one of my friends, which also pisses me off. But that aside, they'll get with this guy, they'll date, and then all of a sudden he'll cheat on her. And then it's very funny to me, because, not that I'm saying I'm a good guy or anything, but women always remember the guy that, like, fucking, you know, cheated on them the most versus, like, the regular guy. But the thing is, you can't really hate them for that because guys do that too. Like, I know for me, the girl that like pisses me off is the one that, you know, pissed me off the most. You know what I mean? I don't remember like the good girl that I dated for 4 years. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just how humans are. Negative emotions are amplified. So it's like, you can't really point fingers at each gender. That's just a human thing. But I don't know. Like, for this video, like I'm just kind of talking about basic stuff I heard in a couple of videos. It was just like women saying like, we're all the good guys. It's just like, I don't understand why men aren't trying as much. It's just like, because, you know, keep in mind, I don't go to bars. I think drinking and doing drugs is fucking stupid. I think if you do that, you're also dumb. I'm sorry, I don't care. If you do those types of things and you're watching this, I think you suck. You know, it's like, because it's like, but where I'm going with this is like at a bar or vaping and like, I don't know, but like you hang out in circles and smoke. That's usually how people dated for a long time. And it's just like, I've been to a bar with my fucking older brother. It's not fun. The guys that go to bars are ugly as hell. The women that go there are slutty as hell. And it's just like, why would I want to do that? And I think most guys kind of have my type of mentality now, at least in Gen Z. I know a bunch of older fucking millennials still try and, you know, do that. But even a lot of them, like, they're the ones that started what I'm talking about. Like, you know, I think I'm not going to do that. You know, going to the bar, hitting on the same girl that's been there for the last fucking 300 days and went home with like 300 dudes. It's like, I just don't, why would I want to do that? You know what I mean? It's disgusting. You know, it's like, listen, like, I'm not one of those guys that wants a girl, oh, she has to have 0 body count. Whatever, bro, I don't care. My body count's 4, so I guess to be fair, she has to have 4. At the same time, like if you're going to a bar, her body count ain't 4, bro. It's 40, big dog. And I'm just like, I that's too much for me, you know? Like, being in college, I haven't even really tried to date. I dated one girl when I was at community college. But, like, and like, in terms of university, I haven't even tried. Because it's like, I just don't, like, the last thing I'll say about the video of why dating, like, for both men and women is so hard now is because, look, socioeconomical factors, political factors aside, I'm trying to stay focused this video, not ramble with my other ones. Like, there's just no, like, people are so, like, time back in the day, everybody in your generation used to kind of move on the same time frame, right? Like, if you were a 20-year-old guy and there was an 18-year-old girl in your generation back in the day, you guys didn't really make different life stage choices while at different times. It kind of all happened at the same time, you know? And it was like, it makes dating and stuff like that a lot easier versus now it's like, you know, like, I know women have always been dating older guys, right? Like, you know, all the fucking millennial dudes dating the girls in my generation, and I'm like, bro, you know, but that's just human nature, right? Michael Jackson reference. No, I'm kidding. But like, you know, it's like, nowadays relationships are just not serious, and it hurts me to say that because I always took them seriously. But I think one thing that nobody's talking about is women don't take relationships serious. They just don't. You know, I've dated women, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's the woman I chose. But the point is, I know most guys can kind of say, it's like, most men don't start off cheating on girls not wanting to commit. That's not true. Most guys do want a wife and all that stuff and aren't hoes. It's just like, women, honest to God, create these guys who don't commit off of when they're young. I know women like to shit on guys, like, oh, why do you still care about your high school girlfriend or the girl you dated at 19? It's like, because that's when love is amplified the most. That's another thing of why I don't want to be, like, married in the future. Like, I used to want that, but it's just like, dude, imagine getting married at 33 or 39. How much love am I going to have for a woman at 33? I'm 20. That's 13 years in the future of me talking to random girls, dating, getting broken up. It's like, by then, I don't care anymore, dude. I know women are a little different. Like, women can love lots of people. That is a true fact. I think, someone has to fact check me, but I think it said that, like, you know, like, when men and women cheat, it's like men can cheat on their wife or something, and it's like they don't love the girl they're sleeping. It's just they're just fucking her, you know? But women, it's like they literally can love their husband, the guy they're sleeping with, and some other guy at the same time, and they can all coexist in her heart, you know? It's like guys don't have that ability, you know? And it's just like either and like that's another thing, is it's like girls can sleep with lots of guys and love all of them. Men can't really do that. It's like most guys have that one girl who they either failed with or they want to get with. And it's like, look, I know this is a not popular topic, but most people when they get married don't actually really like their partners that much, you know? Like, or else why would the divorce rate be damn near 80% now? You know, it's like all my friends' parents got divorced, so don't fucking tell me, oh, it can work, using my grandparents' generation. You know? It's like, you know, they don't really look that happy either, you know? People want to sit there and say, oh, being married is a beautiful... Is it really a beautiful thing? You know, because it's like, I asked my grandma, you know, keep in mind, she's like 89 or something like that, and she has Alzheimer's, so she's going. But she had like this thing, it was very interesting, you know, because there's this like known thing with people who have like Alzheimer's. It's like sometimes they snap back to their old self for just a couple minutes. And it scared the shit out of me because I was used to her, you know, asking the same thing over and over again. But me and her managed to have a conversation about like what she wished, because like college was brought up, and she asked me, she was like, or not, my bad, I asked her, I was like, you know, because like she did go for like a year, but then she went to be a hair stylist, and then that's all she did, you know, because she's 80, so this was a long time ago, right? But she's like, honestly, she's like, I wish I did go to school. She's like, I wish I didn't start a family. And it was like, and she's like, I wish that I did what I wanted to do with my life. And it's like, that's kind of sad to hear, you know? And then obviously after that, she went back to like asking me the same question again and again. But it was like, it was very interesting because it's like, I wouldn't be here without her. Like, my entire family without her doesn't exist. But it's just like, this woman chose to do that, and then now I'm here. But if she didn't, it's like she didn't even want to do that. You know what I mean? And that's most women. And I know a lot of guys are like, well, you know, they get mad about it. But it's just like, dude, like, they have lives too, and they don't always want to just fucking have kids. And it's just like, as a guy, it makes me feel shitty, because I'm just like, if my own fucking grandma didn't even want to do this, then I'm just like, what the fuck kind of hope do I have? You know? Like, my own parents couldn't even fucking stay married. And I'm just like, you know what I mean? So honest to God, I look at people who get married now as like fucking being retarded. You know, because it's like, and it's just like, and like, the smarter thing is to get married and to date when you're older. But at the same time, it's like, how, like, are you really in love with your partner at 40 that you just met? No. It's like, you've been alive for 40 years. You've experienced love like 80 times. It's like by the time you experience it when you're 40, it's just like, it's more of a business contract at that point. And I know that's what love is supposed to, marriage is supposed to be. People who get married for love are always going to fail, because love is a temporary feeling. At least, most people think they know what love is, but it's just lust that you're feeling, you know? But I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it, you know? I don't have the answers, I'm just kind of talking about it, because, I don't know, you know? Most people, men and women, suck at dating, you know? And I don't know how that's going to get better in the 2020s, to be honest with you. But it's not looking too good. But at the same time, a word of optimism, at least for guys, because I don't know about girls, I stopped caring about wanting that. You know, I used to want that. I used to want kids. I used to want a wife. I don't care anymore. I'm not gonna get, you know. And even if I do, I don't have enough money for it, so I don't give a fuck. You know, it's whatever. You know.